Hello, it's Rachel Riva here from Life on Her Terms Media. I am here to talk to you today about how to hold your very first book signing as an author. So I wrote a book called Grit, Grace, and Hustle, A Faith Gal's Guide to Authentic Success. Now, I wrote this a while ago. It's been published for well over a year. And while I actually did hold my first event book launch over a year ago, and you can go and look at our other video about that, I wanted to talk about actually holding your first book signing. And that means when I talk about a book signing, I mean you are going to a bookstore and you are sitting there as an author at a table, someone who has published a book, and you are there waiting for people to come and, so you can sign your book. Now, this can be a really intimidating thing as a first time author. I know it was for me. And it's different from my first book launch because at a book launch, it's mainly just friends and family who are there and a few other people, but they're there to support you. They know who you are. You're there to hold it as a celebration. But to actually hold a book signing is a pretty big deal. So I'm going to share with you 7 lessons that I took away from my first book signing that I held. I held it at our local bookstore. It's a local Christian bookstore. And there are a few takeaways I would love to share with you. So if you're a first-time author, I want you to know that it is important to do these things. And I think one of the hardest, not lessons, but one of the things people forget about, and myself included, is when you publish the book, it's an amazing feeling. But your work's not done. It's only just started in a lot of ways. And that's a hard pill to swallow, but it's true. You've gotten it out there, you've gotten it published, but now you've got to promote it. Marketing it is so important. And the good thing about it is there's technically no expiration on the marketing of it. But the other thing is it's kind of always there. And so when you get into the habit of promoting yourself and promoting your book, it's only going to be, only good things can come out of it. Obviously, people are buying your book, your message is getting shared. I can't say that it's a technically lucrative thing the way that I have chosen to do it. I did not self-publish. I go into more details about that in my previous in one of my previous videos about how to get your first book published. But what I want to share with you today is it is worth it to do your first book signing. It's an important step, I think, in the authoring world. So I'd highly encourage you to do it. So number 1, lessons for my first official book signing. Here's lesson number 1. You've got to liaise with the bookstore and the manager regarding the books and the logistics. Now, sometimes there's 2 different ways they'll operate. They might say, okay, you sell us some of your books at wholesale and then we'll sell them, or you may have to sell them yourself, which I hope they wouldn't do that, but some might. So you may have to come with your own like Square, FPOS reader or something like that. But obviously I didn't. They had the books, but they had to order them in. And what that meant was we needed to make sure the timing lined up, because there was a point when the books weren't going to be there nearly in time for the book signing. So make sure you give yourself and you're in constant communication with the venue about the logistics of the books when they arrive, who they need to liaise with, and even logistics of, is there going to be a table set up? What time do I arrive? How are you promoting this? You've got to promote it. Don't leave it up to them. They will do some promotion of it, but you really need to promote on your own channels, lean into any other marketing marketing acquaintances that you have. I'm on the local radio here, and they were very kind to promote our book signing as well. So marketing it is of utmost importance, but really liaising with the bookstore on the logistics is hugely important, because it's really up to you to make sure it's as successful as it can be. It's really not up to the bookstore. And marketing is your job. It's your job as the author, okay? Number 2, have an assistant or a support person. So I had my sister, who is also our director of operations for Life on Her Terms Media, but I had her there because I knew I needed to have someone. And it's really good because there was a point when there was like a line of people, and she was kind of liaising with people in the back, making sure the line was okay while I was like chatting, because I really wanted to have that zoned in one-on-one focus on someone. That was really important to me. So make sure that you've got someone there who can just kind of be around. I can't say it was crowd control was so needed, but it was really just to make sure the flow of everything worked well, and to make sure that you were manning the desk. You could be at the desk and she could go and get you water, or whatever, or chat to somebody, or make sure the books are all styled appropriately. She's really good at that kind of stuff. So it's really good having a support person there for yourself as well. Number 3, make sure you bring materials for your business or for your book. So whether that's a flyer, whether that's a banner, cards, have them there, because it's not just the book that you're selling your brand, you're selling your personality. And that's really important. So it can't be just a table with books. That's a little bit sad. So you want to make sure that you've got materials that people can take with you, so that they know what they're getting when they get this book, and the experience of what your brand and business looks like. Number 4, make sure you bring more than enough pens, okay? More than enough pens. pens that don't smear, and pens that you're comfortable writing with, and make sure that you actually know what to write. I know it sounds really crazy, but I was like, there was so, come up with a little thing. Like mine is like sending you peaches, love, success, and peaches. Rachel, that was like my sign off. So make sure you have little sign off plans. You don't want to be coming up with that on the spur of the moment, trust me. So make sure you have that too. Number 5, look, I have to say, having I did not self-publish. I had a publisher for this book. Having a publishing company was really helpful when it came to the book signing, because they helped with the back end logistics that I did not have to. So and that had to do more with the store ordering from a particular supplier, and it had to do with the cost that was involved. They dealt with that, so I did not have to. And I have to say that was one of the biggest advantages I had, because if I was self-published, I'm not sure if this particular book signing would have gone ahead. Some bookstores really love helping self-published authors, some don't. So that's just the reality of it. And the way that this actually happened, the way I got the book signing, and was, I didn't actually pitch it, which is quite funny. My book had been on this bookshelves of this bookstore, and they actually moved to a different location. And I went and introduced myself to the manager and just said, would you mind stocking the book again? And she said, yes, would you like to hold a book signing? So she offered it to me, which was very generous. And we went from there. But the point is, I actually needed to have that publisher liaising on behalf of me, because I would have been in over my head. There's a lot about the publishing world I still don't know. So I'm just saying that more as be aware, I guess. So if you are self-published, still pitch yourself. Still see if they can get your book, those books on the shelf. They still can, by the way. It's just more about the preference of the bookstores or the type of people they want to promote in-house and in the store. All right. Number 6, you've got to celebrate this moment. All right. It doesn't matter how many people show up or don't show up. It doesn't matter. This is a stepping stone for you. It's a stepping stone, and it's a learning curve as well. I know now things of how I'll do things better next time as a result of this event. But celebrate yourself. It's a big thing, and not a lot of people do it. It can be really nerve-wracking just doing anything and asking people to come and see you. But I'm telling you, if there's only one person who comes, it is worth it. And if not, I promise you, it's still worth it. It's worth it because you're putting yourself out there. But when you market it, if you're marketing it, promoting it, put everything you've got behind it, because no one is going to promote your book and your message as much as you are. Okay? Number 7, remember, this is just the start. And the book, and so I think one of the lessons I took from it was, you don't just need to sit at a table and wait for people to come to you and say hi. You can actually offer something of value to the bookstores when you're pitching, hey, can I hold a book signing here? It could be something like, hey, how would you like it if I had like a 10-minute talk on whatever your expertise is? And I think next time that's what I'll do, and I'll go to a number of bookshops, and that way I'll have like a mini book tour, a few dates locked in, so I'm not just promoting random dates at the same time, if that makes sense. So what I'm saying is, you can literally, because bookstores are desperate to get people back in their store, and you can help them do that. So that's one of the ways you can market yourself as an author and say, I would love to give a free talk on this. So get people to grab coffees and come and sit in, have a few chairs lined up. Yes, ask your friends to come just to sit there and be there. And I'm telling you, these things attract attention. They attract eyeballs. They attract people who are walking and go, oh, what's this all about? So as well as marketing it as well. So I've taken a lot of lessons that we'll do differently next time. And one of them is definitely, instead of just holding a book signing, is to hold a talk. And then of course you naturally have books to sign as well. So there's a few different ways to market yourself as an author. And I think holding your first book signing is a really exciting time. And it's really signaling to God, to the world, and to yourself that this is serious. You're not just going to publish a book and then go away and hope people find it. That's not marketing. That's not good strategy. I think the hardest part, actually, it's not writing the book, it's promoting it. I don't know why. I'm not exactly sure why, but even I can tell you from an honest perspective that it is a little bit intimidating getting people to go, oh, it's my book, please read it. But I promise you, you are the answer to someone's prayer. They need to read your book, whatever it is. So I hope that's helpful to you. Really helpful holding your first book signing. Highly encourage it. And it's just setting you up for the next one. And that's what it's all about. So don't be intimidated by the process. Do it. You never know what's going to come out of it. You never know who's going to show up. And it's definitely worth it in the long run. And it's all about getting your book out to the people that God created you to speak to. All right. I hope that's helpful. Sending you so much love.